This week in games, Take-Two lays off 600 people after promising it wouldn't. Embracer has a new business strategy that's murky at best. And Fallout has taken over the world. This is the Two Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 196. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you've had a great day.
Connor.
I have.
Oh, fantastic. Connor, how's your week been?
It's been okay.
Oh, okay. The day great, the week, yeah, it's fine.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, whatever was bad was going to be my entire life, but, this week's been good. My life's good. For now.
I would hope so.
It'll always change.
Oh, is it?
One day my life is going to suck, and then it'll get better again. That's life.
That's life.
Or maybe it never will, and I'll die or something.
That's life.
As funny as it may seem.
That's life. I don't know the rest of the song, so we're lost here. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen.
I know it.
This is the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/@2pennygames, and mainstream podcast services of your choice. And we bring you the new news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with two topics, two pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow, and drop a comment down below so that we can integrate an audience 2 pennies into the conversation and cover any news stories we may have missed, or maybe just some evergreen topics that we can talk about, much like how sort of a conversation we're going to be having at the end of this episode here. And make sure you catch us live every Monday around, 6-ish p.m., where we record all of our podcasts live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. And make sure you like and follow us all on our social medias down in the description below. Make sure you stick around for the end of this episode, where we're going to be bringing in a young Phil Shoemaker to review Unicorn Overlord. He has not shut the fuck up about this game for the last 2 fucking weeks. And he's finally ready to fucking talk about it.
And after that, he'll never talk about it again.
Never again. Never once.
That's totally a lie, because he's doing something else with the game after beating it. Watch the review and
find out. Ladies and gentlemen, also remember there's a lot of cool stuff up on the channel right now. For example, we had a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth spoiler cast just a few weeks ago, but we've also got some breakout episodes of the Piggy Bank. We're going to start doing that. And, of course, new YouTube shorts always going up live on the channel. New TikToks always going live on the TikTok channel. Make sure you subscribe to us over there. Wherever you want to be, we will be there. Just let us know. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Connor, let's get into the news, my friend. Let's get into our first topic of the day. My first penny of the day. This is a Games Radar. Are you going to take your little time code, or?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Okay, there we go. Okay, fantastic. First topic of the day, first penny of the day of mine. After making $8.5 billion from GTA 5 and saying it had no current plans for layoffs, GTA 6 publisher announces nearly 600 layoffs and $140 million in canceled projects. This is from Jordan Gerblick over at GamesRadar.com. As of February, Take-Two's CEO said no layoffs were planned. GTA 6 publisher Take-Two Interactive has announced it's laying off 5% of its workforce and canceling several projects. Per Bloomberg, Take-Two revealed in an end-of-business SEC filing a plan to save itself more than $165 million annually due to, quote, reductions in its existing expense base and lowered projected expense growth for the coming years. In the process, it'll incur up to $200 million in charges, the majority of which, up to $140 million, is related to the cancellation of projects, while another $25 million to $35 million is related to employee severance and related costs. Excuse me. Take-Two is also reducing its office space as part of the plan. Back in February, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said that the company had, quote, no current plans to undergo layoffs. To see this turnaround is particularly galling, not least because in GTA 5, Take-Two's Take-Two owns one of the industry's greatest cash cows. Rockstar's game has made at least $8.5 billion since its release in 2013. Of course, the elephant in the room is what will happen to GTA 6, and although it's safe to say the highly anticipated sequel is not one of the canceled projects, it's possible the reduction in workforce could negatively impact its development. A recent report suggested GTA 6 could be delayed from 2025 to 2026 due to a lag in development, and if nothing else, layoffs alone wouldn't do much to help remedy the situation. In March, Take-Two acquired Borderlands developer Gearbox for $460 million, and GTA is expected to be one of the most successful games of all time. Regardless, it's now contributing to the staggering number of layoffs hitting the video game industry following the pandemic boom, including at Microsoft, EA, Sony, Riot, and more. I believe we have covered literally all of those, and they just keep flowing in. They don't seem to stop. Now, Connor, Take-Two, one of the most profitable publishers in the business. GTA 5, huge success. Red Dead Redemption 2, huge success. Bunch of successes prior to that. GTA Online being the never-ending cash cow, earning them over $8.5 billion fucking dollars. Re-release after re-release after re-release of GTA 5 per console since it came out originally on the PS3/Xbox 360. And consistently in top 10 lists for most sold games per month. Even today, it regularly hits top 10 lists of most sold. How does this happen?
The thing we usually talk about, which is greed. You know, it says down here at the bottom of the article that and we've covered this as well, that the Larian Studios, the people who made Baldur's Gate 3, the head of that studio, was calling out these publishers and developers for laying off people as being motivated by doubling profits and not caring about the people that make their games. This is not only another example of that, but a more egregious one. Because some of the layoffs that have occurred this year have been done so by companies that you could say aren't exactly hitting it big this year. And so they kind of have some wiggle room to say, we took a hit and we need to have to fire some people. It's unfortunate, yada, 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 PR talk. But as you pointed it out, we have GTA 5 consistently sells all the time. Mm-hmm. The online market is always there. Furthermore, though it's less profitable, Red Dead Redemption 2 does have an online scene that does have a player base. And so it is bringing in some money.
Didn't that get closed down?
I don't believe it did. I think our friend Phil Fergus, he still hangs out in that game.
Oh, you're right.
Which, even if it wasn't for that, even if Red Dead Redemption 2 was by the wayside, they have GTA to continuously bring them in money. They have GTA 6 on the horizon and other games that are under their catalog. And so it makes no sense for them to do this, especially with the fact that they had said there weren't any planned layoffs.
Yep.
Because you kind of shoot yourself in the foot if you want to make it seem like anything else other than greed. Because, what was the other? There was another studio that had a restructuring program that we knew well in advance that there was going to be a loss of jobs, and it occurred. I can't remember what it was. It was this year.
I mean, we knew in advance about Sony having layoffs because of Insomniac leaks. We were kind of expecting through the giant Microsoft acquisition some layoffs to happen. Probably not to the scale that they did happen, especially because last year they cut a lot of people as well. I want to say it was Insomniac because we knew those Insomniac cuts were coming.
Might have been,
but I couldn't tell you. I mean, obviously, Embracer, being Embracer, and we'll talk about what Embracer's doing here later in the show. But here's my thing about it is like there is no way, zero chance, that in February, when they made the statement of no planned layoffs, that they didn't know that this was coming. There's no way. These things get planned out so far in advance. There is a select group of people who know what is happening so far in advance, and the guy who made that quote would have known it. And I would argue there's just no reason for this. Rockstar's focus on GTA and Red Dead Redemption, I think, is extremely shallow because that development team has so much talent and has the manpower to be doing more. But they're so focused on their cash cow, and maybe for good reason, that is Grand Theft Auto, that I just can't understand why this would be necessary. 650 people. Fuck, man, that's a lot, right? Do I have that number right? No, 600 people.
600. 5% of the workforce.
Is a lot. And I understand we're talking about Take-Two as a whole, and they just brought in some more people, and every acquisition ever, you're going to expect layoffs just through redundancies or whatever. But 600 people worth is insane, especially because considering how small Gearbox is in comparison to everything else that Rockstar has, or Take-Two has, rather. I don't understand the need for this. The profit that you see from GTA Online should save you from this. So obviously there's money not being trickled down, almost as if trickle-down economics doesn't fucking work.
Oh, well, we actually, you bring it up. There was a study that came out recently that showed that trickle-down economics did in fact not trickle down.
Yeah. Funny how that works. It's almost as if we learned that in the fucking 80s.
Yeah. We've known.
Yeah, we've been known that, but it is what it is. The math isn't mathing here. Like, there's no way you just spent $400 million canceling $140 million in projects and now laying off 600 people right before your biggest game of all time is about to launch, after two of your other biggest games of all time have already launched. There's no way. There's no way.
You mentioned before how they would have known this in advance.
Rockstar had layoffs last year, too, didn't they?
They probably did. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But while you're looking that up, while it is true that, most likely they knew something of this caliber was going to be happening a little down the line, and they lied, it does kind of potentially tease the fact that these people, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, just kind of have a random thought sometimes. And this one happened to be to lay off people, because these guys are greedy. They're very money focused. They're people who just see that dollar sign. It's one of the reasons why GTA 5 has been milked for so many years. For good reason. It makes just perfectly good business sense that you have one of the highest selling video games of all time, that people are always willing to play whatever content you shovel down their mouth. You might as well tap into that. Why not? I would usually say that that's a good reason to, a good way to not have to lay off people, but clearly that never mattered. So I can see these people sitting in their boardrooms deciding, well, what do we really lose if we lay off a couple hundred people? We're Take-Two. We make GTA. We got GTA 6 coming out. What's it going to do to us?
Yeah. Almost exactly a year ago, March 7th, 2023, from Game Rant, Rockstar Games parent company Take-Two is reportedly laying off employees.
Yeah. Not surprising.
From and then they link a Jason Schreier report.
So accurate.
This is my thing. Is like, how do you back-to-back year this? And you are who you are. Mm-hmm. There's no way. You have more money than God. There's no need for this. Like, zero need for this. You are one of the most profitable companies on the planet. And I'm not just talking video games. Definitely one of the most profitable video game companies in the world. Like you're up there competing with fucking Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand it, and it's. I mean, there's no reason there's nothing you can have in response to this other than to condemn it, because and I'm someone who, like, I like to say I can see both sides of the fence, or maybe play a little bit of devil's advocate or something like that. But yeah, when Microsoft acquires another massive publisher for $69 billion, yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of money, and you're going to have to cut things down because you're just not going to need all of those people. It's just not how business works, right? But what are you going to blame this on? On your acquisition of Gearbox? Their Gearbox is way smaller than you, like way, way smaller than you. You made layoffs last year. Like, what? And then at the beginning of this year, you said there's no more planned layoffs for this. So what the fuck are you doing? Where is all this money going? There's no way you're using your money in the best ways that you can. There's no way.
Maybe we'll see an increase in their bonuses this year. Those executives.
Fucking pieces of shit.
Well, I'll say it again. Unionization is the more direct path to try and prevent this kind of stuff from happening, at least as egregiously as it is happening.
$140 million in canceled projects. Do you know how much that is in comparison to $8.5 billion made in the last decade? Do you know how much that is?
Not much.
Not much. You're talking. There's no way to even comprehend it because $1 billion is that much money.
Yeah,
and that's not even including Red Dead Redemption 2.
And when you're canceling games, that's on you. You planned out, incorrectly. It shouldn't be, random workers. Get out of here now.
I'm going to argue you didn't need to cancel those games either.
Probably didn't.
They
might be doing the thing that they've done with GTA 5, which is putting all of their money and resources into GTA 6 because they know how big that's going to be.
It's going to be huge. And analysts have been saying that GTA 6 is going to be one of the most important games to ever be released. And I believe it 100%. I think Sony, with their PlayStation 5 Pro, is probably hoping that GTA 6 does, in fact, launch next year. Because they want it for all the publishing deals and all that, because it's going to bring them a lot of money, too. That's the effect that a Rockstar Games game has, is they bring in a lot of money for a lot of different people. A lot of money for a lot of different people. This is ridiculous. It's enraging. Because this is an example of like, okay, no, the 100%, this is corporate greed. Like, something is wrong here. The industry is not built in a sustainable way, and we need to make drastic changes. And it means probably ousting a lot of people.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, indeed. Connor, speaking of people getting ousted, or at least things getting moved around, we're moving on to our second topic of the day, your first penny of the day. Take it away, my friend.
Well, we have an article from The Verge here, from Jess Weatherbed. Gaming giant Embracer Group is splitting into 3 companies. Swedish gaming conglomerate Embracer Group announced plans on Monday to split itself into 3 distinct games and entertainment companies. Asmodee Group, Coffee Stain and Friends, and Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends.
Oh, Jesus.
These are horrible fucking names. These will be separate, publicly listed companies, according to Embracer, which says the move will allow, quote, each entity to better focus on their respective core strategies and offer more differentiated and distinct equity stories for existing and new shareholders, end quote. Side note, if in your bit where you're announcing that you're making 3 new studios and you include shareholders as like one of the main points of that, shows you where the values lie. Even if we
this company's dying, Connor. I don't know. We're watching it die in front of us, and they're trying anything to keep it alive.
Oh, well. Quote, this move towards 3 independent companies reinforces Embracer's vision of backing entrepreneurs and creators with a long-term mindset, says Lars Windfors, co-founder and Embracer Group CEO, allowing them to continue to deliver unforgettable experiences for gamers and fans across the globe, end quote. Embracer has been aggressively restructuring since losing out on a $2 billion partnership deal last year. Embracer Group, which is known for acquiring the rights to a dizzying number of franchises like Tomb Raider and Lord of the Rings, has been aggressively restructuring. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they do the thing with it. Yeah, whenever they break things out like that, don't read that. Just
I should always, I should know that by now. Since then, the company has shut down several projects and studios, laid off employees globally, and sold Borderlands developer Gearbox to Take-Two for a fraction of the $1.3 billion it was valued at when it was purchased 3 years ago. The 3 new companies will be broken down as follows.
I fucked it up. That was my fault.
You didn't fuck it up enough.
Okay, there we go.
We could have gone. We could have kept going.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm supposed to fuck up, Tavin. Please.
I mean, you do.
Yeah.
A lot.
So keep it to one guy, all right?
I've been meaning to talk to you about this, my man. We need to have a quality performance review, of your status here at this company, the Two Penny Games. And let me tell you, boy, it's not looking good for you.
All right. I quit.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to start working for free.
Okay. Sure. Sure. I'll take that deal. I mean, boo. 3 new companies will be broken down as follows. Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends. This company, which will be renamed from Embracer Group, is described as a, quote, creative powerhouse in AAA game development and publishing that will retain ownership of the Dead Island, Killing Floor, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Tomb Raider, and the Lord of the Ring IPs.
Oh, Jesus.
Asmodee Group, a new arm dedicated to publishing and distributing tabletop games. The existing catalog includes established titles like Ticket to Ride, Seven Wonders, Azul, Catan, Dobble, and Exploding Kittens. Oh. Asmodee is developing licensed tabletop games based on the Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Game of Thrones, and Star Wars franchises. Embracer anticipates the spin-off and share listings will take place, quote, within 12 months. Coffee Stain and Friends, described as a diverse gaming entity that will focus on indie, mid-market, and free-to-play games. Properties sitting under this new company include Deep Rock Galactic, Goat Simulator, Satisfactory, Wreckfest, Teardown, and Valheim. The share listings are projected to become available in 2025. Quote, this move has been made with the intention to unleash the full potential of each team and provide them with their own leadership and strategic direction, said Winchforce. This is the start of a new chapter, a chapter that I intend to remain part of as an active, committed, and supportive shareholder of all three new entities with an evergreen horizon.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We will.
Yeah.
These can easily all fall to dust. Like Embracer seems to be,
well, I mean, one of them literally being named after Middle Earth Enterprises, literally being named. That is their plan to exploit Lord of the Rings, as they've said in the past. So yeah, get ready for some more bullshit heading your way, Connor.
Yeah, we did get. There was a new Shire game that had gameplay footage revealed.
You're talking
The Shire, like the simulator.
Okay.
Living in this Shire simulator, not the Mind game.
Oh, not the Mind game.
No,
okay,
a different one that looks awful.
Nice.
Like today, it got on today being Monday, April 22nd.
Yeah. How much does it annoy you that as children you pick things that you're a fan of, and some of those things become very deep rooted, and you live as a fan for these things for the rest of your life? How upset does it make you that me, your greatest enemy, picked the correct one, and that is Star Wars, and I get quality Star Wars content every single year,
like Rebel Moon, like the
Rebel Moon,
Mandalorian show that got bad.
Mando never got bad. Never got bad.
It had to piggyback off what made Star Wars in the first place, and the Clone Wars, which is a obscenely better,
fantastic.
Listen, at my base, I have the better thing. That's all I care about.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Superfluous? Yeah.
I don't know if you do.
Those movies are objectively better than the Star Wars movies.
You've got
Lord of the Rings.
You got about the same hit rate.
No.
About the same hit rate percentage.
3.
It's about 50%.
We got some of the greatest films ever made. My finger slipped. He's talking bullshit because Star Wars is falling down the hole.
I've got
movies.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Let's throw Rogue One in there. Let's throw Force Awakens in there. Let's throw, what was the last one? No, the last one was real bad, wasn't it? Yeah. I've got 5, Connor. I've got 5. I like Last Jedi. I'll throw, Last Jedi's okay.
Yeah, go to the prison planet, gambling planet.
Yeah, that's not a great part. It's not a great part of that movie.
Pretty big part, too.
But I got a lot more TV, a lot better TV. Rings of Power.
What the hell was
Google? Shut the fuck
up. That was you.
Up.
That was him. What a failure, man.
My phone hears OK Google out of nowhere. No, don't you do it now.
Yeah, see?
Don't you do it now.
Mine does not. But,
hey, Siri.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Wait, you still have a fucking iPhone with a button on it?
Yeah, I do.
It's
and
the
I chose
fucking
it.
button.
And I chose that. I went to the fucking store and I was like, what do you have that has the button?
iPhones haven't had buttons in a decade.
Yeah. And I'm still fucking sticking on. Because it's way better. It's way better.
You're ridiculous.
It's way better.
You're ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Ridiculous. How slow does that fucking phone run? Probably pretty slow.
No, pretty well.
Nah, I don't
Not like the best it has. It did when it first came out. When it first was bought, but iPhones suck.
So now they do suck. That's why I don't have one. So are you gonna hop ships now, or now that because they're changing the chargers again?
Yeah,
you gonna hop ship?
I want to, but all my information's on here. So they fucked me now.
Yeah, that does indeed suck. Start transferring it over to just some Google Docs and stuff. You'll get there.
Well, what effort does
you
that
get? You get like 15 gigabytes of free space with Google Drive, man. It's fucking.
God. I know that sounds good, but I still have to fucking do work to transfer it. When you get a new iPhone, you just put them right next to one another and just and then it's done. But yeah.
Anyways, embrace it.
Yeah. This, I will say one positive thing. This could work. What do you have to lose at this point, first of all?
The whole company.
Yeah, right? And this idea has never been done before, to my knowledge, in the gaming market.
I'm sure it has. I'm certain it has.
Definitely not to this scale with this much money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can you slide up a little bit? There was a part of this article that really fucking upset me. It was what they say they do. And it goes, allowing them to continue to deliver... Wait, no, I'll start from the top. This move towards 3 independent companies reinforces Embracer's vision of backing entrepreneurs and creators with a long-term mindset. First of all, if you lay off people the way they have, you aren't backing creators. I'm sorry, you're not doing that. And allow them to continue to deliver unforgettable experience for gamers and fans across the globe. You started this with talking about your shareholders. Drop with the cookie-cutter bullshit.
I mean, you do have to talk about your shareholders.
You do, but that's what you only care about.
When you're a publicly traded company, you have to care about the shareholders.
And they've always cared, and that's what they've always cared about in their current state. Look where it's gotten them. They fucking suck.
Connor, this is the same company that a year ago said they are going to exploit Lord of the Rings. They're fucked.
Exactly. But that is depending on how these studios operate, because it does say that he's going to take still a hands-on approach, which who else with power at Embracer has by this point not come out and just said, Lars, you're not a part of that scene.
They gotta get it somehow, man. They gotta get in there. So they've just invested so much into gaming,
and they keep failing. Let the people make. You have so much money. Be a patron of the arts. Just let the people who actually know what they're doing do the work.
Well, They can't now.
They can't now, but well, maybe they can pivot. Who knows?
No,
why not? Fuck it. Who cares?
They need to start making money because they've lost it
all.
all.
Maybe that's the way to do it instead of doing their current model, which has failed. And sorry, you guys lost out on your dumb fucking deal with Savvy Games, losers. But
they sold Gearbox at less than half the price.
They did. That's not even that. That's just pathetic all around.
That sucks.
But maybe this allow the developers to actually make better games than
much
they have.
More excited for Borderlands 4 now, though. Much more excited. For Borderlands
possibly 4. Be way better. Yeah.
Possibly, hopefully.
Take-Two.
But apparently Take-Two doesn't care and lays off everybody anyways.
Right.
Connor, moving on to topic number 3. Oh, that's not a...
That killed it.
There we go. Topic number 3. My second penny of the day. Fallout 76 just beat its own concurrent player record years after its Steam debut. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer.net. Fallout fever continues to grip the world with Fallout 4, New Vegas, and Fallout 76 all seeing a resurgence in popularity, and the latter breaking its own concurrent user record on Steam years after its first release. As noted in Steam DB, the 2018 action RPG, which debuted on Steam in 2020, has hit 66,045 simultaneous players on Steam, the most concurrent users the game has ever had. Before this weekend, and arguably before the arrival of Amazon's hit Fallout TV show, the RPG had boasted a concurrent record of around 40,000 players. And that doesn't even account for the thousands of players who have likely jumped on Xbox, as the Fallout series is available to Game Pass subscribers for no extra cost. For those of you that have been waiting patiently for Fallout London, the DLC-sized mod for Fallout 4, unfortunately, it's once again been delayed. What are we talking about here? The mod, which, in case you missed it, Amazon's Fallout TV show has officially been renewed for a second season with Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, who executive produced the show via Kilter Films, saying they, quote, can't wait to blow up the world all over again. So this is something we haven't really talked about on this show before, Connor. Fallout, the TV show, has been a major success, something which is great to hear. I'm very much interested. Did we talk about the trailer when the trailer was released?
I don't think we did. I think we may have mentioned it in passing, but we didn't do anything.
It was a decent trailer. It was a decent trailer. It looked good. It looked promising, and it's great to hear that, hey, they've delivered on that promise tenfold.
Have you seen anything from the show?
I've not.
I've seen the first 15 minutes.
Yeah?
And it hits you with charm.
Nice.
Pretty quickly. Feels kind of like a Fallout game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that I've gotten that's been stupid is there's been some timeline issues. I don't really know about that, but
who cares?
Well, the writing cares because it's your world that has set writing, and if you don't pay attention to it, you end up like Star Wars.
This is for fucking lore nerds who don't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
And make a fun, cool story. It doesn't have to follow some bullshit that happened in some book that you pick up in the middle of the game.
No,
it was too much to care about.
It was just like basic information about the games. That's why people were upset. It was just like,
it's a different universe. Who cares?
I don't think it is a different universe. I think they came out and said that it wasn't.
They can say that, but it doesn't. They don't like overlap with each other. So what the fuck does it matter?
See, this is kind of the problem. This is I think a Bethesda issue because they're, in terms of writing, fucking stupid. But the show seems to be surviving on its own.
Bethesda has really good writing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not in recent years. I should say that in recent years.
Starfield was lauded for its writing.
Fucking sucked ass. It sucked ass.
You're a hater.
Shut up.
You're a hater.
No, that's
You're a
all
hater.
lauded by fucking idiots who play. You know what? There was a video by a YouTuber, Seth Zintach, right?
Right.
Know what he says the target audience is for? And this alleviates a lot of problems. It's for dads. It's for dads that have no time on their hands, play 3 games a year, and you want to play dreg shit. That's what Starfield is. It does not have good writing. Its big writing moment is unfulfilling considering everything else the game has to offer you, which is basically dressing.
You're a hater.
I'm a hater. I'm a hater because I'm tired of people pretending like a mid-game is anything but that. It only has as much attention and as much praise because idiots, it's like, I play my Bethesda game. And then their brain resets when the next one comes out and does nothing interesting. I like Bethesda games. Their magic has gone and left. You saw the beginning of it go away with Fallout 4. It was eliminated with Fallout 76, and they failed any goodwill they had with Starfield. Who talks about it now? Who looks back and says, Starfield, what a memorable experience.
Nobody, I mean, some people. There are people out there who really enjoyed Starfield.
There are, of course there are.
You know?
Of course there are. There's also a lot of people who enjoyed Prey. Do you think that's a game worthy of
There's not
lauding?
a lot of people who enjoy Prey.
A lot.
There's not a lot. And Prey Prey has good moments.
It does, yeah. Point is, the writing kind of fell, mainly with one character.
You're a hater.
I am a hater, yeah.
You're a hater.
Yeah, I am a goddamn hater. I am such a fucking hater. I'm a hater because there's still a contingency of people that pretend that it's quality.
Well, I know
high quality.
I know what I'm making a TikTok out of this week.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. And there's going to be people who are going to type in their dumb little keyboards or on their phones, hey, this isn't a good take. It's Starfield. You're able to go into space and fly.
Connor, I'm sorry. Lore does not need to be carried over from TV to video games. That's the point of adaptations. Last of Us is different than the original game. You think that's going to upset me? No. Who gives a fuck?
Well, Last of Us writing isn't really based on the world stuff. They just say apocalypse happened.
They changed entire characters.
Yeah, that's characters, not events. Not
who cares?
I do, goddammit.
But none of these things matter.
You just talked about
these things
Star
don't
Wars
matter.
earlier.
You're upset. Wait. Let me get this right, because if I understand the controversy is like how the war started that ended the world. That is different, right?
That's the part I don't really know much about. My issue was they took a very interesting character that was not made by Bethesda, Mr. House from New Vegas, and they made him just like they have like a reference to him, and they make him incredibly one-note and lame, and it's boring. It's like I said, Bethesda writing coming in.
That's a nod for fans. That's not. No.
If it was a nod to fans, they wouldn't have just changed the character because they can't write well.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
I know, Connor, you're being ridiculous.
This is not
worth being upset about.
It is worth being upset about.
It is not worth being upset about.
Dumb writing that changed something that was good.
No, it's not.
It was changed by the people who still think that Fallout 3 is better than New Vegas. That's who changed it. That's the other thing, by the way. New Vegas objectively better in terms of story.
You're one of these
in terms of gameplay.
You're one of these fucking haters who are mad that Fallout 4 is being successful and getting ported to new consoles.
I don't care about that. Everyone.
Who cares? Enjoy things. Just let people enjoy things.
I won't let people enjoy things. Do you know why? Because people enjoy. Do you want them to enjoy things? There are people out there. Oh, see, it falls apart now when he brings up something like that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry.
I gotta cut this.
Yeah, I gotta cut it. Weak, Tavin. Weak. Come on. This is why you like Star Wars, the inferior franchise to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah? How many great video games have you had in the last 10 years?
I don't give a shit. I'm talking about the movies and the writing in those, which is what I was going to bring up. Because, hey, what does Star Wars do with writing, huh? So if
I'm gonna tell you right now. Fucking Lord of the Rings, the good ones, they fucking play like a goddamn book, and that's not a good thing.
Books.
They talk about
amazing.
Oh, these are the caves of wonderment and the battles of XYZ year against the army of this, that, and the third. Yeah. And you sit there and you go, what the fuck does this have to do with the current conflict that we're actually here for?
There you go.
And you go, nothing. We just want it to sound cool, so we're talking about lore.
It's called
Who gives a
good
fuck
writing.
about
It's
lore?
called good writing. Maybe the Star Wars creators should have cared. Maybe they wouldn't have asked for many
Connor,
years.
I've been saying ever since Disney bought the shit, blow it up. Let's do something else. Why do you think I'm so excited for the goddamn Acolyte? Because it's something else. I never want to hear the name Skywalker ever again.
Oh, yeah, Acolyte.
If I never see Darth Vader for the rest of my life, I would be so happy.
Shut up. No, you wouldn't. You'd be like...
No, I'm totally okay with never seeing Darth Vader ever again.
And then...
I'm totally okay with never seeing him ever again.
Film?
Anything.
No, bullshit.
Anything.
In the
Totally
next
okay. Well,
Jedi,
like,
yeah.
well, but that
But-
story's. I want that story to finish, and it's rooted in that narrative. So it has to be. He has to be there. This is
that's
my
not what-
point.
It's now there's an exception.
He's
huh?
rooted
Now
in
there's
that
an
narrative.
exception.
But if it wasn't rooted in that narrative, who even knows if we're getting that game? First of all, with the way EA's been working, who even knows if we're getting that game?
We are. We'll get that. We'll get that. Don't worry. People like that game.
No, this is my thing. If I never see Luke Skywalker ever again, cool.
I mean, that's fair.
Totally cool.
He didn't need to show up in The Mandalorian.
No.
No.
It was cool that he did, but he didn't need to. Didn't need to.
Did you know for that character, the actor who played the young version looks almost identical, and they still changed up his face?
Yeah, I don't like the choices to deepfake things. Just recast. It's fine. We get it. We get it.
No one has a problem with it.
Dude is old or dead or like died during production or something. We get it. It's fine. Just recast. This is I had issues with the MCU committing to Chadwick Boseman dying as T'Challa dying. I thought that was entirely unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, just recast. It's fine. We get it. It happens.
We're not children living in a fantasy world.
Exactly. Well,
Maybe.
I mean, sometimes it makes sense to cut a character, but I don't think T'Challa was a good choice. I don't think the deep faking of Luke Skywalker was a good choice because now you have to commit to that, and now you can't go back. You know.
Yeah.
And I'll say it. Where the fuck was all that deep fake technology for fucking Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen? Because boy, oh boy, those are some 40, 50-year-old men on screen right there.
But you can't tell with Hayden, could you?
No, yeah, you could tell.
Oh, really? Voice-wise or his looks?
Yeah, man.
Both?
Bro, they're 20 years older.
I know. But I figured like the Darth Vader thing would just be kind of an easy thing to get
There's
around.
flashbacks with actual Hayden. In
Okay.
yeah.
No.
Like episode 2, Hayden Christensen.
Put on the wig. Put on the wig, Hayden.
Yeah, there's something. Cut his hair or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know? Yeah. So, I think they deepfaked him in Ahsoka too, which is really weird. Why didn't they deepfake him for Obi-Wan? It's weird.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
It's, know what it is?
Yeah.
Inconsistent writing.
Yeah, sure. That's what it is. Writing in Ahsoka was great. Internet will have you believe otherwise. But writing in Ahsoka was awesome.
Are you sure you're not piggybacking off Clone Wars, Tavin?
One of the absolute. It's the best season of Star Wars Rebels for sure. Is that one season of Ahsoka, and one of the best episodes in the entire like Star Wars TV universe was in that show. And the internet shat on it for no reason. And I'm saying it right now, Mandalorian season 1 kind of trash.
The zombie thing is what you're talking about, right? The zombie in Ahsoka?
No, that was weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, Tavin, I don't know how you defend
It has
that.
precedent. Like, you know, we've seen it before. It's in Jedi,
Yeah.
the first one, Fallen
Yeah,
Order.
no. It's more just like how bad it looked.
It did not look good. Did not look good. I don't understand why we went that route. But I mean, I understand why, because the characters kind of, it made sense. But yeah, no, I mean, great story.
Yeah.
Fun fights.
Once again, I'll take your word for it.
Not the best fights, but fun fights.
Good enough, huh?
We're really off topic here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, there's not much to talk about in terms of...
Yeah, we're burning a lot of fuel
Great
here.
news.
You know, it's fine. But I mean, you see me. Never mind. We'll talk about that. Moving on. Topic number 4, Connor. Your final penny of the day. More of an evergreen topic, but it's still fun to talk about. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. So we have an article from Metro Entertainment. Video games are only for young people with too much time on their hands. This is a reader's feature. A reader argues that video games are targeting the wrong people and that adult gamers need shorter games and younger players the opposite. I don't really consider myself to be that old. I'm 42, which means I have no interest in TikTok. You know, TikTok.
Hey, bro. You're not like old, but listen, man, when I'm 42, I'm old. I feel old at 26.
You're stupid. That was mean. I'm sorry.
Listen, I wake up and my feet hurt. I don't know what to tell you.
That's different.
I've got body aches every day. I'm at 26 years old. It's only gonna go downhill from here.
Well, on that dark note, he said the thing about TikTok or esports. But otherwise, I wouldn't say I was a fossil, and there have been at least a couple of occasions where my kids haven't been completely embarrassed to be in my presence. But according to a recent reader's feature, traditional video games are only for old people. And yet, if that's true, I don't know how they find the time. The readers feature the other week was very good and argued that because publishers are now obsessed with live service games and think that kids aren't interested in consoles, traditional titles are now only really for adults, even though they're not really the target audience. It was all very well reasoned, although I'm sure I wasn't the only one that has plenty of proof that kids are perfectly interested in consoles, especially when I'm trying to wrestle back use of the TV. But my main point of contention, and this is with the publisher logic, not with the writer of the feature, is that adults just don't have the time or energy for modern games because they're just too damn long. The writer envisioned a Halicon era to come where certain games were aimed at kids and others, what we think of as traditional single-player games, are aimed at adults. I can think of lots of reasons this would never happen, but the number one reason is that we simply don't have to be time to be playing endless 60-hour epics.
I'm going to cut you off there because this is poorly written and it's referencing like 3 different things. So, okay, well, let's have the conversations.
Yeah.
Are video games for children? No. Video games are for whoever the fuck the creators want them to be.
It's a case-by-case basis depending on what game it is. Every game, every product that has ever existed has a target audience. Whether it's by age, whether it's by race, whether it's by class, there's an audience.
Yeah.
And, certainly many games, you could argue, are more targeted for kids due to the fact that there's lots of long-form games out there.
Yeah.
But to counteract that, a lot of those longer games, I feel, are M-rated. I mean, you have things like the Yakuza series, for example. You have things like, of course, GTA, even some of the bigger recent games like Starfield. It's M-rated. Inherently, that means you have to be a little bit older to buy those games. Of course, you and me both know kids can get those games fairly easily depending on, who their parents are.
Well, and also, like what's a young person? Like an 18, 19, 20-year-old who can have access to these things?
I think high school is like the cutoff for what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because when there's objectively the most time, like it's the peak amount of time you have.
Listen, you're 27 now?
I am.
Yeah, congratulations, you fucking old fucking fuck.
Shit.
Listen, you're 27, I'm 26. Our time is limited. We have to pick and choose what we're doing with our time. We don't get to watch all the TV we want to watch. We don't get to play all the video games we want to play. We got lives. We got responsibilities. We've got things to do. And yet I find myself in my 4th season of Glee. Thank you to my love of my life girlfriend.
You stuttered there for a second. What were you going to actually say?
A name, but I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, that's smart.
It doesn't matter though. But here's the thing: video games are always going to be a passion of mine. Always going to be something I'm always going to want to play. I would rather be playing a video game than almost literally anything else. Like listening to music, watching a movie, TV, playing a sport, going outside. I'd rather be playing a video game, no matter what. Talking to you, and your fucking absurd takes on Bethesda games.
Not absurd.
But, I mean, admittedly, like, I don't have time to keep up with every Fortnite update. So I don't play Fortnite. Like, it's that simple. There are games made for everyone. And you can find games made for you no matter what. Now, do I have time to play and beat every 60-hour epic that I want to play? No, but that's fine. I never beat Baldur's Gate 3. I may never beat Baldur's Gate 3. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. I played fucking 50 hours of Baldur's Gate 3. Had a phenomenal time. Didn't see the ending. Didn't see the romance I wanted to see. And that sucks. But I love those characters. I love that world. I love that combat system. And I feel like I got my fill of it, And that's okay. Do I have time to replay Mass Effect again and again and again like I used to? No, absolutely not. Will I ever have the amount of time that I want to be able to dedicate to things like that? No. But, I'll tell you what, still making the time to roll the credits at the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's a long-ass video game. Still finding the time to do it.
Yeah, and you can get into long games and play them over a long period of time. There's no stress on those games specifically.
For normal people.
Yeah.
For normal people. You and I are on timelines, but they're self-imposed timelines because we don't make any money from this.
Yeah.
But if life takes a turn and we instantly, need to start working more or don't have time to spend doing this, well then guess what? In whatever free time I have, I'm just playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth again and again and again. Because fuck Rise of the Ronin. You know what I mean? I'm not spending 20 hours on Rise of the Ronin. I got other things to do.
And admittedly, there is the conversation to have that we don't have kids.
Yeah.
We're not married.
Yeah.
Which is a big time sink. But you still have time to yourself. You still have time to play games. And if you have kids and you need to watch them, you can. The thing about video games is you can have them in your living room, in your bedroom, basically where
You gotta kind of pick and choose your titles a little bit more. There's gonna be a lot more Lego Star Wars being played when I have a little baby running around. You know what I'm saying? But will I always be wanting to play Lego Star Wars? Absolutely not. I'd rather be playing a GTA 6. I'd rather be playing, I don't know, a Last of Us Part 3 or whatever. But sometimes I just won't have the time or the space for it. Or a young kid will be in the room and I can't do it with the kid in the room, and that's fine. That's just the consequences of life, and you just live with those. It's not so much about are games made for X consumer or not. No, if I wanted to only play Fortnite, I would only play Fortnite. But I don't want to only play Fortnite. I want to play a game with a narrative. I want to play a game with new mechanics. I want to play a new game. Sometimes I just play games just to play a game, Or I play a new game just to play a new game. I don't always need a reason. It doesn't always need to be quote unquote made for me. I find the time where necessary. It's not a mandatory thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, of course. And I feel bad that he has to think that it is only for younger people because once again this is a very specific person. Yeah. They could have a life where they're constantly doing something, and so video games have no time in their life. You and me, well, like you said before, you always want to be playing a video game.
Yeah.
I'm not as I need to be playing a video game over other activities, but I'm always going to be playing video games. I always have the drive.
This of course always changes. Sometimes I just want to watch TV or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But more often than not, totally cool with just picking up a controller. Totally cool with that. And here's the thing, is sometimes you don't need to play the game to be part of the community that it thrives on. I haven't picked up Helldivers 2 in 2 months. And it's kind of killing me. But I'm keeping up with the updates. I'm following along with what's going on. Hey, when I finally do find the time to log back into Helldivers 2, it's going to feel like a brand new game to me. And that's awesome. I'm excited for that.
One of the benefits of getting distracted with other games.
Yeah.
You can revisit them and get the magic back.
And normal people have that as well, where they just go, I just haven't had time to play a video game in 2 weeks. Oh, shit, I came in, there's this huge update, a bunch of new stuff for me to grind out or whatever, if that's their cup of tea. Or, just have some comfort food and replay an Uncharted game or something like that. That's all of this is fine. Video game, let's stop gatekeeping video games. Yes, when video games started, they were for children, and you made them for children to go play and play and play, and they were played out like that. But they've grown as an art form, as a medium, and they're not just for children anymore. They're for everybody. They've arguably always been for everybody, but there was definitely more of a kid focus back in the day. But now it's just yeah, man, this is just the art I choose to do, as opposed to watching a movie, as opposed to watching TV. Everybody needs time off. Everybody needs time to relax and a way to escape their lives. We're more than just catalysts for profit. You know what I mean? There's more purpose to your life than just raising a goddamn family or just, working 50 hours a week, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. There's just more to life than that. And to cut yourself off from what I think is the I don't want to say superior. To cut yourself off from, I guess, the more evolved art form in medium. That's a bad way to describe it too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is to you're just limiting your own experience, your own human experience. This is a phenomenal medium that can be enjoyed by all ages, and there's so many different types of games out there to just be oh, they're for kids. What are we talking about, dude?
I mean, that's kind of the old guy opinion. M-rated for a reason. Going back to that.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, that's made for kids? I doubt that.
Yeah.
All the way back in when the first one came out, 1998, 99?
Before that, 6, I want to say.
Ooh, yeah. Geez.
Yeah, it's old. It's old.
I always forget about that.
Yeah. Don't go back to that one. It's old. Go play the remake. It's great. Put the remake at number 1 on Game Club list.
No.
Oh, okay.
You've liked it more than me and Phil did.
It's a great game. It's great. I mean, that's an example of that game when I get old and retire or whatever. That's comfort food. Yeah. It's a comfort food game. I want to play that game a lot, and just because, it's familiar and I can wrap my mind about it. And you don't need to play everything. It's fine. Play what you want to play. There's too many games.
You'll just be inferior to those that play everything.
Like us.
Yeah. That's why we're two white guys on a podcast.
Hell yeah. Shout out to two white guys on a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your... That's been your episode of the Two Penny Gamescast. Don't go anywhere. We're going to bring Phil in here to talk about some Unicorn Overlord. But remember, you can catch this every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/@2pennygames, and mainstream podcast services of your choice. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below of what you think about all the topics today and something you'd like us to talk about in the future. But until next time, have a great time. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, guys.
What's poppin', players? Welcome back to a Two Penny Games review, this time for Unicorn Overlord. I'm your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host and along for the ride, Connor Elliott.
I'm usually along for the ride.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, usually you're here for more purpose than just kind of being here, but you're here. Welcome.
I am here.
Welcome.
I'm going to say a few things, too.
Will you?
Oh, just wait.
Do I not know? Is there information I'm missing here? Or?
No.
Oh, okay, great. And also here, our lead reviewer of the game. Say hello to the people, Phil Shoemaker.
Hi, I'm Phil. I made Tavin let me do a review for this game because I love it so much.
He forced it down my throat. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're waiting on a Dragon's Dogma 2 review, it's because instead Phil wanted to do this, and I wanted to do a spoiler cast for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is live on the channel right now. So this poor sap over here has not had time to play Dragon's Dogma 2.
I mean, I have.
Well, not enough time.
He's chosen not to.
Close to enough time.
Really?
Yeah, well, maybe.
You started this week.
I played a lot.
Oh, okay. Good for you. Good for you, buddy. Where's my goddamn review then?
Not yet.
Not yet. Anyways, Phil, you are lead reviewer for Unicorn Overlord. You have not shut up about this fucking game in the 3 weeks that he's been playing it.
Yeah.
2 or 3, something like that.
Tavin, I can't help but notice that you're not playing my B-roll.
I've stopped playing it during reviews. Since we've gotten to this setup, it doesn't make sense. It's extra work, and I mean, I could, but I'm lazy. I'm just lazy, Phil. I'm just lazy. But the B-roll is nice for TikToks, which I guess I'm making one of those this week. So here we go. So Phil, you've been playing Unicorn Overlord. You have, I believe, beaten the game, and maybe even gotten a little extra, huh?
I certainly have. So I have been playing the shit out of Unicorn Overlord. I have gotten the platinum on the game. Took me, I believe, 70 hours, just under. That's at least what my in-game time says. My PlayStation has me higher on that. I think mainly because I was I might have had the game paused or, something like that. But no, it's probably my favorite tactics RPG I've ever played. It's better than Fire Emblem Three Houses, I think so. Definitely better than Fire Emblem. Was that one Engage? That was last year.
That game sucked.
I don't even think that game sucked. I just think it was missing some of the narrative sauce that Three Houses had. So that's kind of what we were comparing it to. But this game, it's just a masterpiece, man. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but also fortunately, this has taken the #1 spot over Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth for me. Unicorn Overlord is right now my game of the year. And it's just so fun. The story, while, not being the most original thing, it allows its characters to shine, and it gives a really good reason for our heroes to come together, form a rebellion, and come back and overthrow this evil force. It's a really fun game. It's got really great art. It's got great characters. I believe there's a total of 70-ish named characters in this game. 70 of them at least are recruitable if you count your protagonist. And yeah, there's a lot of characters. So it gives you enough to if you only want to use your favorite characters, you can get away with doing that. Like if not everybody speaks to you, there's more than enough variety to put together like a good squad or multiple different good squads with your favorites. It got great systems that all work together in tandem to provide this awesome tactics experience with all the different. Excuse me, that was a burp. With all the different currencies and how they kind of overlay onto each other, and it's just every little mechanic that you can experience in this game just adds to it. So I've since started my playthrough for a re-platinum on PlayStation 4 because I'm just that much of a scum of the earth. You know, it's just that much fun. It's just that much fun.
Oh, okay. All right. So, talk to me here, my man. What makes this game like exceptionally special tactics wise?
Well, whereas in Fire Emblem Three Houses, you would have typically like one member of a squad with like a bunch of like nameless, like I think in Three Houses they were like armies you could assign to each character for like the gambits and stuff. That was like the secret, not secret, but one technique you could do in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Whereas this one, it's like unit based, meaning like you can have up to 5 members in each unit, and it's also an auto battler like Fire Emblem, but you can get more into the minutia of each tactic and what you want, each move you want used in what order. Like if my B-roll was here, I'd be able to show you that there's these little action points and passive points that each character has in their battle. There's little diamonds. There's red diamonds for active, blue for passive, and you can, as you upgrade your units, you can get them items that will either increase certain stats. There's items that increase action and passive points. You can do more moves. There's ones that increase your initiative, so your units are fighting faster. You can get them more health. There's a bunch of different like little upgrades. Like I think in Fire Emblem, I don't know what they were called, but there were these individual items you can give to people to increase their stats. There's that for in here too. They're like dues of whatever. There's like a due of attack, a due of willpower, which is like your health and all that. But there are, I can't remember the number for the number of classes, but there's so many different classes. Pretty much each of the units that I talked about earlier, they only have like a minimal number of overlap in terms of what class they are. So you can have a very unique group of people, and a lot of them. So like there's kind of tiers of types of units. There's your regular infantry. You got your spear users, your regular sword and shield user. You got cavalry, people on horses with axes, horses with swords, horses with lances, all that good stuff. And they're all like uniquely suited to fight other types of units. Like a cavalry unit's going to be super effective against an infantry unit. A person with a bow and arrow is going to be super effective on like flying units. Like there's like griffin knights. There's they call them feather swords, feather shields, feather bows. Basically like angelic people with swords, bows, stabs, all that good stuff. And just the interactions that some of the characters have with each other. They have like when you kind of there's like these there's an affinity system kind of like in Fire Emblem where you can, the more they're in a unit together, the higher they're going to be like interacting with each other, like they're going to form relationships with each other in their unit.
Gotcha.
And then there's like a meal sharing system which will like provide like a boost to however affinity, and that's kind of how you get to the like the support, like the S rank support system in Fire Emblem, where like that would be the person you married. In this one, they have something similar here where once you marry this certain character or whichever other character you want, you and that other character will get a special item that if you both wear, I don't think you both have to wear them at the same time, but you then become the only 2 units that can wear them. And they give you like special buffs, being like, oh, this one it could do something in the final battle, which is only usable in the final battle, but they have like other stat boosts, and they have active and passive point boosts as well. And that's really what you're looking for in terms of items, is stuff that just lets you activate more attacks and do more healing or whatever your other points are going towards. The more points of those you have, and that you can kind of work into a cycle of, oh, I can trade out these 2 passive points for an active point. The more you can kind of cause that to recur over and over, the better luck you're going to have in some of these fights. Because it's a very big like chess game kind of, and that's kind of what got me so into this tactics RPG rabbit hole, is how good they feel to play and plan around.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to me a little bit about that. You're talking a little bit more in depth than like say a Fire Emblem. I think the reason Fire Emblem Three Houses worked so well is that it was a pretty accessible tactics RPG, not very difficult at all, I would argue, with a couple of moments of like, all right, well now you have to sit there and think, but there were plenty of like ways to like, if you screwed up, you could make up for it through its like rewind mechanic. I'm not expecting a rewind mechanic in this game, but how is it like accessibility wise? Is this something a first time tactics player should pick up? Is it hyper difficult, or does it have moments of difficulty? Talk to me about any of that.
I would say it has moments of difficulty. I played on what is like essentially the normal difficulty for my first playthrough. You can also change the difficulty throughout any point in the story. It doesn't punish you for like picking the hardest one and, oh, you're stuck on that now, you have to start an entire new game over. You can tune it to like however you want your difficulty experience to be. That being said, like there was times where I might have been a little under leveled, or I went to a certain quest too quickly. Like they definitely want you to try to clear out as much side stuff as possible before you move on to the next main thing, so like the levels kind of match up with each other. I'd say the majority of the time when approaching these like main story like jumps, I would be almost over leveled, just with my main squad being like the one with my protagonist and my favorite characters in it. But you know, not to the point where my other units were just getting hammered and destroyed. Those are just cases of like units I was testing different synergies out with, and they just didn't seem to work out. And I think it's. Did I mention that there's no permadeath in this?
You haven't yet. That was going to be one of my questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no permadeath. So it's really you can fail, and that'll just send you back to your last save.
Okay.
But if it's not shaken out and you're not really coming out with this win in the ways that you want, you can try different units. There's multiple different ways to get around it. You can try different unit combinations. You can physically move the different characters on their little grid, or like where they start the battle, where they like end up. You can fix that, and sometimes that changes something. Whether it's like, oh, now this enemy unit's going to target this person in the front line, where if you move them into the back, now they're not going to have as easy access to get to them. They're going to have to target somebody else. So maybe it's somebody that was too squishy that was up front that needed to be guarded in front of. And there's even these separate levels that you can kind of grind out repeatedly. They're not limited to the amount of times you can use them. So you can get like free experience, free gold, free like points to just actually level up your army. There's like a renown system where the higher renown you are, the more bonuses you get from completing a level. Like if a renown is the base level, you're only going to get like 10 little medals that you use to like upgrade how many soldiers you can have. You're only going to get about 10 of those. But like later on, when you get to S rank, it like does a multiplier on the bottom. So like I was getting anywhere from like 25 to like almost 40 of those little medals per like game. Okay. And the higher renown you are, the easier it is to even increase your renown even more, which is kind of, it goes with that like them pushing the finish line back in terms of like, oh, I reached this renown level this fast. Now I can get the other one level, the next level maybe a little bit slower, but I'm getting so many more rewards that it doesn't feel that's so much slower. That's nice. That I'm getting to it. So it's got a good like scaling of difficulty in terms of like reaching that goal.
So you've been talking a lot about a lot of like deep and complex systems here. Would you say this is a game that someone who doesn't have a lot of experience in the genre should jump into, or should maybe they reach for a Fire Emblem or some other
Final
game?
Fantasy Tactics?
Maybe not that one.
I think maybe I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world if you started with this one. If you are like me and you have only played like one Fire Emblem game, then yeah, you're probably gonna like this one a lot. I do think that Fire Emblem was a little easier to like get into and kind of wrap your head around, because there weren't so many like minute details you had to figure out. Like there are some things in this game where if you tell the computer too many things to do, like if you give it too many like conflicting things, like there are like sub tactics in each of your people's moves that you can, I only want them to use it in this scenario. So like if the enemy only has it's a 2x3 grid is how each of the characters are placed in their unit. So it's 6 spaces. One of them is empty for a possible like 5 total soldiers in that unit. So like if you had only 2 full columns and 1 person in the back or in the front, there are attacks you can set to they'll attack only if there's a full row, only if there's a full column, and if you set them that way, they just won't activate. So you have to go in and be like, is this going to prevent? Is me putting this sub category on this attack, is that going to stop that attack from happening outright? Is it going to do what I want it to do and only activate in this certain use case? So you kind of have to mix and match in terms of your like party composition and like how you have them all set up. So it might be a little too daunting for a first time tactics RPG player. Whereas I think with Fire Emblem, at least with these like newer games, you're gonna have a tough time sometimes, but those earlier ones are so easy to figure out, and like you can kind of just use your protagonist to bust down any kind of obstacle you're gonna run into up until those like later maps in Fire Emblem, to where you really do have to kind of synergize. With this one, I think that's the case for maybe what I'm calling Chapter 1, which is basically like your first big story moment, but that happens before you even reach level 10, and you level up pretty fast in this game.
Yeah.
So it's a relatively like they're not like holding your hand the whole way, but it's a pretty good tutorial.
Okay, very nice. And then one thing that I think led to what, because Three Houses was a major success. And I think one thing that led to that was, one, its ease of accessibility and understanding of systems, yes. But also its hyper focus on characters. And Three Houses had a lot of dialogue, and a large majority of it was voiced. How is that ratio feeling here in Unicorn Overlord? How much focus are we giving? I know you've said that you love the characters and what they're doing here already, but like how much of that is voiced, and how much of the game is focused on that? Because that is what knocked me out of games like Fire Emblem Engage, and even Triangle Strategy, just because the characters didn't have as much charisma as the ones you see in Three Houses.
Which, to add on to that, talk about the narrative as well. Since a lot of this is about game systems, does it have anything interesting going on there, or what?
Well, as far as the narrative goes, I kind of touched on, it's not the most original thing. It's basically like this this evil like general guy. He wants to overthrow your mom, who's the queen, and become the new ruler of this
I want to overthrow
country.
Your mom too.
Yeah, many people do. They want to kind of take over this country. I think it's the whole place is called Fevrith, and there's 5 different continents that are all inhabited by the different people. Cornea is the big one in the middle. You're the Prince of Cornea. Your mom gets killed by this evil general. You escape with a paladin, Joseph. You were secreted onto an island where you're raised to fight and take back the throne, essentially, by uniting all of these other kingdoms to come together and fight this tyrant. And you meet your friends along the way. You maybe fall in love. You marry whoever you choose. And it's that kind of story. Now, as far as like the number, like I'm gonna say the majority of this game is voiced, and I love that. The only thing that I wish was voiced were the kind of support conversations that you'll run into on the map between some of these characters. All of those are just text bubbles that reach. They're cute, like pixel art. Like we zoom in with the camera, and then they're on the overworld part with pixel art, and they're like, "Oh, I see that you're reading that book," and he's not holding a book. It's just the character standing there. That is the pixel art guy. And then one of the characters comes a little too close and is like, "Hey, you're standing in my light reading the book. Haha." It's a goofy thing.
Yeah.
But that's not voiced, unfortunately.
Yeah. Connor, you'll have to remind me. Three Houses, anytime character dialogue was happening, it would be voiced, right? Like or during the like connection conversations.
Yes, they would be voiced. That was what
I can tell you. Yes, they were.
That was what was so impressive about it, because Fire Emblem Awakening, I believe. Well, no, maybe it did have. No, yeah, other games wouldn't have. Fuck. Shit, I haven't played those games in a while. Yeah. No, but Three Houses definitely did. It would constantly.
And so did Engage, for that matter. Engage also had all that stuff voiced.
Okay, but are we missing that? Are we missing that here, or is it just like these random moments on the map, sort of similar to? Oh, did we lose him?
No,
okay.
I'm still here.
Is it like that, or is it more sort of like running around Garrick Mach, or like? I guess even like there's a lot of moments in Persona. Oh yeah, social link upgrades aren't usually voiced, are they, in Persona games?
No, I think they
are.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on when they happen.
Well, so those like social parts are not voiced.
Okay.
The only ones that are actually voiced are like the like side quest things. Nothing that's like reading off your like list of who am I close with. None of that stuff is voiced.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
How is the voice acting?
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Some of the best. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Fantastic. That excites me. Okay. Now Connor, you just kind of being along for the conversation and seeing Phil's reactions and how he's talked about it. Is Like a Dragon on your list to play this year, or
no? Due to the fact that it's ridiculous, as I've been told many times. Want to play the other Yakuza games?
No, that's ridiculous. That's silly.
I don't care how long it takes. That's what I'm doing.
It'll take you 10 years.
Well, then it'll take 10 years. I've gone most of my life without playing Yakuza games.
Next decade.
Yeah, right. But Unicorn Overlord, I do have a lot of interest in playing this.
Yeah,
it's really just timing and other games needing to be played.
Interesting.
Busy year.
It's really made me want to play some of Vanillaware's other stuff, like 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim.
I've heard that's amazing.
People like that game.
Yeah, I've heard by many people say it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So what's funny is a similar story that with this game as 13 Sentinels, Vanillaware ran out of money making this game. The same way they did 13 Sentinels, which like they got to a point somewhere it's like, oh well, we're out of money now. We have to kind of now walk back a lot of stuff. So they actually had to hold back on some of the stuff they wanted to do, and it's still this good.
Oh well, yeah. Well, that's just game development, though.
No, but I'm like, I want to look up this
I
story.
think you're saying like compare that to like Spider-Man and Insomniac. They were never hurting for money. They always had a little bit of cashola at their hands.
I promise you, they maxed out whatever budget they had in that game. Like
they maxed out, but they have like a lot of people behind them to where if they needed more,
they could have asked.
Sure. Vanillaware's CEO George Kamatani reveals the studio had to dip into its own pocket to finish the tactical RPG's development.
Oh, interesting.
Unicorn Overlord is developer Vanillaware's most ambitious title to date is hardly in doubt. That's just a little phrase from the gamingbolt.com.
Okay. Well, Phil, you've sold me on wanting to play it. I want to play it. Unfortunately, I've got Stellar Blade next week, and then I think my schedule clears up right there. And so I think it's time for me to expand, and I'm playing Balatro this week to kind of like say I'm still playing new games and so forth, and not just be playing Rebirth all the time. But at some point I'm going to have to put Final Fantasy VII to the side. You having a fairly good grip on my taste. Should I reach for this or should I reach for Like a Dragon first?
Kevin, that's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
And the more selfish part of me.
I know you've said, hey, like this is your favorite of the year so far. But you and I differ in a lot of ways. But so I'm curious as to where you would think I would land here.
Well, just purely because I feel like you would get more from Like a Dragon if you played more of the previous Like a Dragon, which I think is the case for me too. I think you should just hop into Unicorn Overlord. Also, the fact that that's the more selfish version of me. Like I want to talk about this with somebody else too. So,
okay, it might happen. We'll find out. A lot of crazy things happening this year. You never know.
It's wacky.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your Unicorn Overlord review. Thank you so much, Phil, for doing that. Hope you got that out of your system, buddy.
damn masterpiece this game is.
All right, fantastic. Phil just likes to hand out these 10s like they're nothing, man. He just loves a good handing of 10.
But this game
Well,
gave him a little reach
if
around.
if you recall, Tavin, the last rating I gave on this was a 5.
Was it? Did you only give a 5 to Princess Peach?
Yeah.
Rise of Ronin, I thought.
That was me.
Ah, okay.
That was me. But Phil agreed with me.
Yeah.
But Phil also I believe Phil's handed out more masterpieces than us.
That's definitive.
Well, me and Connor both agreed on Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. It is what it is.
I don't remember if we had this
You fucking
system.
10 out of 10 slut.
Hang on.
Slut. We've had it since I want to say Scarlet Violet was one of the first ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that before
no,
or
I don't
after
think so.
Elden Ring?
I don't think so.
Elden Ring, no.
I figured we didn't.
No, I don't
Maybe
think we had it for Scarlet Violet is the thing.
Oh, you know what? It might have been like Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor might have been the first one.
Fairly recent.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, we're going long for no reason. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember, you can find us on podcast services around the globe, and make sure you like and subscribe to the youtube.com/@2pennygames. Until next time, have a great time, and gentlemen, say goodbye to the people.
I added a lot to this conversation.
Shout out to Titanium Leg Man.